amortization and reduction friction. In today's video, we will talk about the following topics. So, firstly, friction. Friction is also a type of force which works between the two surfaces. Suppose that I just take my hand, put this chalk on the hand, and I just try to move the chalk on my hand. So between this chalk and my hand, a particular force will work, and that force is the friction. So friction always work between the two surfaces which are in the contact. If I am writing something on the board, in that case the chalk and both are in contact. And when I am moving this chalk on the board, the force that is working on it, that is the friction. So friction is a type of force that works between the two surfaces. It is the definition of the friction. Now in your daily life, try to identify the places and the situation in which the two things are in contact, their surfaces are in touch, and because of this, the work has been done. There, the force which is working, that is the friction. Now, this advantage of friction. You know, if we are going to do some work and there is no disturbance in that work, so the work can be very fast. And if something is creating disturbance in that work, so that work will take the more time or as the usual. So that means the friction that is working between the two surfaces, it is actually stopping the activity which is happening because of the contact of two surfaces. So definitely there are disadvantages of this friction. The first one is the friction always reduces the speed. Whatever the work we are trying to do, if friction is more, then the work will be less. In this situation, we can just think the movement will be the slow. If the friction is working more, then the movement will be less. Suppose that you are just riding the bicycle. If the friction will work more in the bicycle, then it will be really very difficult to move the bicycle more. So it always reduces the speed. The next, it also damages the things. You are a student, then definitely you are usually habitual to play. You like play, everyone like play. So while playing, you wear the shoes, and during the playing, your shoes comes in the contact of the ground. And while walking, while running, the more friction is working between your shoes and the ground. And because of this friction, the sole of your shoes get damaged. So as more the friction work, it always destroying the thing which is come in the contact of the surface. So the source of your stool that will be damaged. And the next one is the disadvantage of the friction. That is the moving parts of the machines. Because of the friction, it also get damaged. So the first advantage that we get, that it always reduce speed. Second, it damages the things. And the next, it damages the machine parts. If you will notice, that was the part of your cycle that will looks very sharp, and as day by day the cycle is being used, this chain sharpness will be less, because this friction will damage the part. So these are the disadvantages of the friction. And as you know, the things which are creating disadvantage also has some advantage. It is the balancing nature. The nature has created everything which gives some advantage and some disadvantage. So we just talk about the disadvantage. Now we will talk about the advantage of the friction. The advantage of the friction is to control the movement. Whatever the movement is happening in all around us, the friction makes control on it. Because of this friction, we can easily walk on the ground. If you will notice, the places where the tiles and marbles are installed, in that particular tile and marble, it is difficult to move, and sometimes the people also slips on it, because the tiles are very smooth, and because of its smoothness, the friction works less, and due to the less friction, it is difficult to move on the tiles. So the advantage of the friction, as the more friction works, we can easily walk on the ground. That is the reason, in the comparison of the tiles, the normal floors that are made by cemented, we can easily move on it, because the floor which is made by the cement has the less friction that works, and tiles are very smooth. So friction works more on the cemented floors and less on the tiles. So here, due to the friction, we can easily do the movement. We can easily walk, we can easily run. And same as the vehicles that are just moving on the road has also are the advantage of the friction. Because of the friction, the movement of the vehicles is easily on the road. You will notice that when the people purchase the new vehicle, their tires have grapes. Means some, you will find that the some designs are made on the tires. That is because to maintain the friction between the road and the tire. As the friction is working between the tire and the road, the day by day the tire also get smooth. When the people purchase the new vehicle, their tires are rough, and after few years, 2 or 3 years, their tires get slippery. So the less friction works. That's why the normally the vehicles that are old and their tires are becomes smooth, that vehicles normally get slips on the road. That's why it is suggested to the people that the tires of the vehicle should be changed after they are getting damaged. So the friction gives help to the movement on particular surface. Now reducing friction. We just know that friction has advantages and disadvantages both. And as we are human beings, so it is our nature that whatever problems comes in our life, we always try to find out the solution. So reducing friction, that is a particular solution which we use to do the proper movement in the things. So reducing the friction, the people use the oiling. Oiling makes the surface smooth and the movement can be very normally this particular function you will find mainly used in the machines. At your home, you can find the sewing machine. Normally the each of the home, the housewives use the sewing machine for the stitching work. Sometimes you will find that they use a particular oil for giving the help to the proper movement of the machine's part. That oiling makes the part of the machine runs smoothly, so it always reduces the friction and the machine works fast. Same as the shops where the cycle can be repaired, there also during the servicing they use the oil in the parts of the machines so they can easily work. Sometimes at our home, if we want to open a particular type of nut or bolt, if that is locked for a long time, we use the oil to open that nut and bolt. So oiling is the method by which we can reduce the friction. So it's friends, it's all the topic for today. All of you watch the video